Are you curious about the latest Android architecture components and how they fit into your development process? If so, you're in the right place. Today, we're diving into the question of whether to use the Model View Presenter, or MVP, alongside the new architecture components and the Model View View Model, or MVVM. I totally understand the confusion. With so many new tools and frameworks being introduced, it can feel overwhelming. You're not alone in wondering how to best utilize these architecture components in your projects. Here's the specific question we're addressing today. A user recently asked, should we use MVP with architecture components and MVVM? This is a great question, especially since Google has provided a sample using MVVM. Let's explore this together. To understand this better, let's break down what MVP and MVVM are. MVP focuses on separating the presentation layer from the business logic, while MVVM allows for a more reactive approach, making it easier to manage UI-related data. Each has its strengths, and knowing when to use them is key. And stick around. By the end of this video, you'll have a clearer idea of which architecture to choose for your next Android project. To begin, the user should understand the differences between the Model View Presenter, or MVP, and the Model View View Model, or MVVM architectures. MVP focuses on separating the presentation layer from the business logic, while MVVM is designed to work seamlessly with data binding. Next, the user should consider the advantages of using Android architecture components with MVVM. These components provide lifecycle awareness, which helps manage UI-related data in a way that survives configuration changes. The user can then look at the Google sample on GitHub, which demonstrates the MVVM pattern with Android architecture components. This sample provides a practical example of how to implement MVVM effectively. Finally, the user should evaluate their specific project requirements. If the project benefits from the reactive programming model and data binding, MVVM is likely the better choice. However, if the user prefers a more traditional approach, MVP can still be effective. Fun fact, the MVP pattern was popularized long before MVVM came onto the scene. It's like the classic rock of software architecture, still relevant, but sometimes overshadowed by newer hits. Now let's look at the answers provided by other users. One user shares their experience building a template project using the MVP pattern alongside Google architecture components like Room and Live Data. They believe that some of these components are compatible with MVP, not just MVVM. They provide links to their GitHub project, showcasing two branches, one for MVP with Realm and Live Data, and another for MVP with Room and Live Data. They mention that their project is more complex than the Google sample, incorporating Dagger 2, RX Android, Retrofit, and JSON. Additionally, they created a separate project using MVVM with Google architecture components, Realm, Dagger 2, and Live Data. They encourage viewers to check out their projects and leave comments or suggestions. Here's a pro tip: don't be afraid to mix and match. You can use MVP for certain parts of your app and MVVM for others. Flexibility is key in software development. And there you have it. Now you have a better understanding of whether to use MVP or MVVM with Android architecture components. Remember, the best choice depends on your specific project needs. If you found this video helpful, please subscribe for more insights and tips.